The first morning I set foot on that lake property, I felt the air shift. 15 acres of pristine wilderness stretched before me, and in the center, the water gleamed like liquid glass. I knew it was mine. Legally, it was mine. But that didn't matter to Diane Fredrickson. Everyone called her Karen, and she was about to make my life hell. I spotted her across the street that Tuesday morning. Mid-40s, tall, athletic build, blonde hair pulled into a tight bun, wearing stark tennis whites and a diamond bracelet that flashed in the sun. Her face was red, brows furrowed, eyes fixed like daggers. She stormed toward me, heels clicking, as I sipped my coffee on the porch of my cabin. "You just bought Mr. Patterson's land," she announced, voice shrill, arms crossed. I didn't invite her in. That lake has been part of my viewshed for 12 years. My property value depends on it. You cannot touch it. I blinked. Viewshed? I'd never heard of it either. But she wasn't bluffing. This was the first shot in what would become a relentless battle of wills. By Wednesday, 3 certified letters arrived. One from Diane's lawyer claiming permanent lake access. One from the HOA, Diane's HOA, naturally, demanding approval for any changes. And one from the city zoning office, politely asking me to verify property boundaries. I leaned back in my chair, thinking, bring it on. My lawyer, Patricia, laughed when I showed her the letters. This is harassment. You own it. They have zero authority. But the plot thickened when she pulled up the survey map. The diagonal property line sliced directly through Diane's backyard, pool deck, and outdoor kitchen. For the first time, the fight became tangible. Monday morning, surveyors arrived. Bright orange stakes, every 10 feet, marking the true property line. The stakes were like tiny flags of war, silently screaming the truth. Diane saw them from her deck and exploded. "What is this? What are you doing?" she shrieked, storming toward the crew. Hands on hips, face red, veins visible in her neck. She practically radiated panic and fury. The lead surveyor, calm and unshakable, gestured toward me. "We have permission from the owner." Her head whipped toward me. "Marcus, what the hell are you doing?" "Just making sure I know where my property begins and ends." "For legal purposes," I said, hands in pockets, voice steady. She spun in disbelief, pacing, pointing fingers, yelling threat. Calls to the police, the HOA, and the city zoning office were all ignored. Permits, surveys, and legal paperwork held firm. Her rage was real, but useless. When she realized the stakes sliced directly through her pool deck and outdoor kitchen, her fury collided with reality. I calmly explained adverse possession. 15 years of usage didn't grant her rights. She was 5 years short. The law was unyielding, and for the first time, Diane had no ground to stand on. Her screams echoed across the lake. Her threats became sputters. Her confidence shattered. And still, I knew this was just the opening salvo. Thursday morning, the fence crew arrived. 6 foot tall, solid privacy panels, neutral gray. I had everything in place. Permits, surveys, contractors ready. Diane appeared again, filming with her phone, voice screaming, pointing fingers, pacing like a caged lioness. "This is harassment. You can't do this." "Actually I can," I said. Calm. Collected. "This is my land. You've been encroaching. The survey proves it." She turned purple with fury. "I'll get your contractor's license revoked," she shouted. The foreman didn't flinch. "Ma'am, we're installing a fence on the property owner's land." I stood back, hands in pockets, watching the fence slowly slice through what had been her pool deck, her outdoor kitchen, her perfectly manicured lawn. 2 days later, Diane's threats turned into tears. Real tears. She stormed inside, defeated but not yet defeated. The fence was up. Solid. Legal. Impeccable. The diagonal line carved a perfect division through her backyard. And I didn't need to lift a finger beyond signing permits. The next week was tense. Diane called everyone she could think of, police, HOA, city zoning, but every call ended the same way. Confirmed permits, verified surveys, legal documentation airtight. Her fury turned quiet. But I knew silence was dangerous. That's when I decided to document everything: photos, videos, daily logs. Every stake, every panel, every inch of the fence. Neighbors started noticing. Some whispered, some laughed. One even came forward to say she had been threatened similarly for minor issues over the years. The HOA's bullying tactics had a pattern, and I was the first to fight back. That evening, I walked along the fence, imagining future dinners on my new cabin deck, private, undisturbed, knowing the orange stakes now legally marked the line. Diane's property, my land, finally defined. Yet the story wasn't over. I sensed she'd try one last desperate move. Sure enough, a week later, she appeared at my front door. Different tone this time. Quiet. Defeated. "What do you want?" "Nothing," I said. "I just want to enjoy my property in peace." "The same thing you wanted, ironically." She stared, shoulders slumped. I pulled out a document prepared by Patricia, a fair market offer to sell the encroaching portion back. Fence remains until sale closes, she gets her backyard, I get compensated. Her lips parted. Then slowly, she nodded. Quietly. Relief mingled with resignation. She hadn't won. She wasn't angry, yet, but the fight was over. Legally, ethically, and strategically, I had drawn the line. 3 weeks later, the sale closed. $30,000 transferred. Fence removed. The pool deck and kitchen partially returned. Balance restored. Diane approached once more, softer this time, holding cookies. A small gesture of reconciliation. I smiled, accepted them. No apologies required, just mutual recognition. The battle was over. Neighbors whispered. HOA murmured. Word got around about the lake property fence debacle. My victory wasn't just for me. It was proof that careful preparation, legal knowledge, and patience could overcome entitlement and aggression. I sit now on my cabin deck, the lake shimmering, quiet except for gentle waves. Diane waves from across the diagonal line once in a while. No hostility. No interference. The lesson is clear. Boundaries matter. Legal clarity matters. And sometimes the right fence, and the right lawyer, changes everything. In the end, the lake is mine, the land is mine, and my peace is mine. Entitlement has limits. And property rights? They're not just words, they're armor.